today. Ray Isaac from Isaac Heating and Air Conditioning. Good to see you, Ray. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're agreeing with everything Alex says.
Yeah, we do home inspections just to inspect the furnace and the air conditioning, and we've done a number of them just in the past couple of weeks. So there is a good activity out there. I think homes are selling. I sold one of my homes during the holidays. My wife loved it because everybody got to see her Christmas.
How many homes do you have?
This is in succession, not at once.
Yeah, we got 5 left.
Well, in Val,
air conditioning's going great these days. This is your first time on the show. Who was it from Isaac who was on with us one time?
Is it Dominic?
Dominic DeLeo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. What a guy.
Great guy.
Should have heard what he said about you.
Oh, I heard.
Oh, boy.
He used to be with us.
Yeah, right.
He used to be.
But it's great to have you with us.
Thank you.
Is there a season for you guys? Is there a season where you say, yep, this is when we do most of our work?
There's 2 seasons. It's 2 times of the year. Again, we're weather related and weather dependent. So whenever we have an extreme weather change, usually, in Rochester, it should happen right around April or May. It's been happening more in June now. But when the air conditioning starts kicking on, people are using it for the first time. Always last minute, everything. People that last minute turn it on are probably the last minute shoppers as well for Christmas. But that's one of the busy seasons, and then for the heating season. And usually September, October, sometimes in November.
Full disclosure, I've been a customer of Isaac since we moved here 25 years ago.
Oh.
The red truck just did it.
Yeah.
It's a signature.
No, Julie's been a customer of Isaac.
No,
she makes the decision. Yes. We know who makes the decision.
But you guys are just the best. And you just hire the best people. And you and I have talked about this before.
Absolutely.
The people... You hire the people and then you expect them to do the work rather than, do the right thing for the customers rather than. So in a way, you're not really putting the customers first. You're putting your employees first so they can make the customers feel first.
We do. We have rank order priorities at the company. First is safety, which we feel is good for the company. It's good for the employee, good for everybody. But then comes the employee, then the client, and then the company. And the way we look at it is if we're taking care of our employee, giving them everything they need. When they're out at a client's home, and we call them clients, not customers. Customer is somebody who buys from you once. A client is a repeat individual that keeps giving you business. But we figure that if they're going to be in the customer's home, the last thing we want is for them to begrudge somebody, especially the company, because they're going to try to get even. We all know about the old stories of the Cadillacs that were built on a Friday afternoon right after everybody got their layoff notice, and those mysterious bolts ended up in the fenders. That's the last thing I want. Reputation is so hard to get. It takes a long time, but it's very quick to lose it. And make sure that we have our people first and foremost. And our philosophy is hire professionals, train them to be technicians. And there's really a key to being a professional.
And you've been doing it for how many years now?
66. We're coming up on our 67th anniversary. My grandfather started it.
How many guys you got out on the roads hitting the ground?
We have 220 employees. We hired about 40 people this year. We've had 3 of our best years ever in.
What is a lot of stuff breaking accidentally?
No, it's an interesting dynamic. If we had 2 hours, I could tell you about it. But we've always applied a very efficiency-minded approach to our business. And what I've seen is the companies that covered up for their inefficiencies with high price for years and years when they could get away with it were okay. They weren't efficient. They weren't necessarily a good company, but they just threw a lot of price on what they were doing. At the end of the year, they made some money, and their accountant was okay.
Yeah.
These last 3 years, in 4 years, it's put a little bit of a tighter squeeze on companies, and they've had to be a lot more efficient. They've had to reduce their prices or keep them stable. They've had to really maximize everything they have, and the companies that weren't doing that all along had a very hard time changing, and we saw a lot of them go out of business, whereas we have always been efficiency-minded. We've always put every cost in there that needs to be there first, get rid of anything that doesn't, and then put the price on it. And that's allowed us to really survive over the last number of years and grow. As I said, we've had our 3 best years.
You guys have a lot to be thankful for.
And we do.
All right.
We do.
We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, I want to find out if there's anything that you can offer as a Christmas gift. If there's something that I could go to Isaac Heating and Air and say, I want to give this for Christmas. Think about that for a second. We'll be back in a couple seconds here. Property Source Radio at Sports Radio 950 ESPN.